It's a new weight loss week. It is Monday, the 9th of February. How far are we? Do you know what? We met up with some friends yesterday, and I was like, we've not seen each other for ages, or they were like, we've not seen each other for ages. And I'm like, we saw each other just before Christmas, literally 6-7 weeks ago. Christmas now feels like it was 6 months ago. It feels like it was so long ago. And I was just trying to work out then, how many weeks are we into the new year? Is this like week 5 or week 6, like of a full weight loss week, as it were? Anyway, Christmas does feel like it's ages ago. It was ages ago. We're well into a new month now. Well into 2026, aren't we? We're well into 2026. Christmas is distant, I mean. That's all done. Gone. How's your weekend been? Have you had a good weekend? Hope so. I've had a really good weekend this weekend. Chill again. Quiet. Well, I say quiet-ish. We did nothing on Saturday. Yesterday, we met up with some friends. We went out for Sunday lunch, which was really, really nice. Very nice food. And though, do you know what? I have not been that hungry this weekend. Don't get me wrong, I've eaten quite a few calories, but I've been mixing up having a last week, and I've been tracking to my normal 2,600 calories a day on average, but I've been adding 2 300-calorie protein shakes in a day. I've just not felt hungry at all. Last Monday, I'm going to go through this in this week's weekly weight loss vlog properly, but last Monday, Tuesday, the hunger demons were absolutely kicking my arse all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. Last Monday, Tuesday. And I'll go through again in my weekly weight loss vlog why I think that was the case. But then from Wednesday, absolutely right as rain, no issues whatsoever. Obviously, I'm taking on more calories. Those calories are pretty much pure protein. It's the most satiating macronutrient. And my hunger, no issues whatsoever. What has been weird this weekend is, because I've kept on with those 2 shakes, like normally I'm quite snacky. Like Saturday afternoon on the sofa quite a bit. Yesterday afternoon on the sofa quite a bit. Not the food noise, non-existent. Don't get me wrong, I still ate a lot of calories because I don't need food noise to eat a lot of calories, or I ate a good few calories that I would normally. But yeah, absolutely. From Wednesday, really, zero food noise. Zero food noise. Kind of not eating for the sake of eating, but eating when I'm not like, I don't really need to eat, but I'm going to anyway. So I suppose that is eating for the sake of eating, isn't it? Anyway, there we go. Let's do some good mornings on TikTok. Let's do top 5 to start off with. Steve's in at number 1, Faye's in at number 2, Callum's in at number 3, Peter P's in at number 4, and Lisa is in at number 5. I was in here this morning. Let me just send the rest of these off. I thought I'd sent them all off. I've done all the progress sheets this morning. I'm trying to get a little bit more organized with my Mondays. I'm trying to have a chill Monday. That's what I'm trying to have. I work on Saturdays, and I was working this Saturday till like 2-3 o'clock. Like, just sat on the sofa, but still work. And I'm like, I sort of have one day a week off. And I thought, do you know what? Mondays are all, and this was kind of my plan with posting the weekly weight loss vlog on a Tuesday. Because I always feel like I'm in a bit of a rush and a bit stressed on a Monday, and I'm always trying to get loads of done. And I'm like, Mondays is like everyone's back to work day, they're busy. You work for yourself, Neil. Let's change that. Let's have that as a Tuesday, as a Wednesday. Doesn't matter. Do a bit on a Saturday. Doesn't matter. Mondays are going to be a bit. So I'm having a bit more chill. So I'm like, right, Mondays going forward. I'm going to try and get in here for like 6:30 early. Right, get my work done. Get a good bit of work done. Catch up on admin from the weekend. Get a live done, and then I'm going to kind of have a little bit. I'm still going to record my weekly weight loss vlog today. Other than that. Other than messaging anyone that messages me today, getting back to any emails or what's, I'm going to have a bit of a chill day today. And then heavy work Tuesday to Saturday. I don't have mind of it. Anyway, that's the plan. Anyway, I'm just sending off all your progress sheets should be with you now. Just trying to get a bit more organized. Does that make sense? We've done top 5. Have we done top? Yeah, we've just done the top 5. Mr. John Jackson's in. Who else is in this morning? Maddie's in. Good morning. Kelly C. Good morning. Leah, Steph, GC. Good morning. Lou. Good morning. Maureen's in, Lynn's in, Julie's in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Saturday ended up doing 22,000 steps. Was very tired, Stevie. I bet you were. That sounds like a very, very busy day. Sheila, good morning. Good morning to you too. Tina's in. Morning, Stefan. Good morning. I might have said already good morning to you. I'm just trying to go. I'm just going through. If I repeat myself, doesn't matter. Angela, good morning. On to Preston saying to see my nephew for the 21st birthday. Have a great time in Preston. I don't know what you're doing in Preston, Faye. I know you come and see you, but I don't know what you've got planned. Hope you have a great time. Go get yourself a spud. I went over Cal's, but everything tracked and still finished in a 2K deficit. That's all right, Colin. I've sort of said this a little bit. I said it in my newsletter yesterday. I think we're all approaching that time where everyone hits it probably. I'm always I talk about this a lot after Christmas. Don't go to any extremes. Don't go crazy. Don't do this. I think some people still do. And then that can come back and bite us a little bit in February. I think it's very, very common. I've been coaching now a long time. And it's very, very common around this time when motivation can dip a little bit. We probably fancy, all that overindulgence of Christmas, gets us through January. But it's like, it's been ages since I've overindulged a little bit. So it's all good. As long as you track, stay accountable, you're still in a deficit. Brilliant stuff. Right? Let me scan up. See what I'm missing? I don't think I'm missing it. Worked all weekend, so today I'm off. So I'm planning my meals for the week now. Brilliant, Stevie. Did a Bleasdale walk, 20k knackered today, Julia. I bet you are. And do you know what? That's the beauty of my plan. You might have some days where steps are a bit lower, and then you can go and do 20k days. 20k is when you equate 20k to like miles. Right, so 1.6k is a mile. So you do 20,000 steps in a day. You're like, what, 10 miles, more than that? 11, 12 miles? That's a long way. If you think about walking 20 divided by 1.6, 12 and a half miles. You should be knackered after doing 12 and a half miles. The only thing we've got to be careful with is if you do too much one day, and then that means you're knackered the next day, so you can't do anything, it can kind of be counterproductive. It's similar with the gym sometimes. Some people go to the gym, they hit it really hard, and then the next day they can't move, so then they can't go. And you're better off kind of meeting yourself in the middle. If that kind of makes sense. If that's the effect it has, So I had a Sunday dinner, a cocktail. Sounds great, Julia. Honestly. And that's, again, the beauty of my plan. That's what you can do. If we're on too restrictive a diet or something like that, and I have no issues with the work and reward mentality as long as we are tracking it and we're being accountable to it. So I get a lot of people messaging me, I've started in the gym and I'm not losing any weight now and this, that, and the other. A lot of people have this over excessive work and reward mentality. Oh, I've eaten 1,000 calories a day, Monday to Friday, so I can just enjoy my weekend and I'll still lose weight. It doesn't work like that. Oh, I've had a really good gym session, so I'll just go out. I'll have a massive takeaway tonight and I won't track it. Right. So, but again, there is that, but there's nothing wrong with Julie there going, yeah, I did 20,000 steps Sunday morning or whatever. It took us a good 3-hour walk. We got back, dropped the dog off, and we went round to the pub, and I had Sunday lunch and a cocktail. Tracked it all, whatever for me Sunday lunch, 300 calories from my cocktail. It's all in the app, all fitted in within my calories. Lovely jubbly. Nothing wrong with doing that whatsoever. You can do what you want as long as it fits in within those calories, I'm up dressed and actually had some time for self-care. Now off out with Milo. Brilliant. But hey, look at this. It's new week, new everybody at the moment. Anna's in. Good morning. Morning, Paul, by the way. I'm scanning up now. I'm working backwards. Seeing if I've missed anything. Don't know if I have. Eric bought me a pound of fat like the one you use. I love it. Do you know what? This is like a proper, I can never say the word, anatomical, whatever they're using, doctors or hospitals or something like that to represent a pound of fat. They're flipping expensive. I think I paid about 50 quid for this. They might be a bit cheaper now. But I think they're especially if you've got one in hand, to give a really good true representation of what a pound of fat actually is. And I think if you can actually get hold of one of these and hold it and look at it, and it is proper, like it's meant to represent. So if someone took a pound of fat out of your body, it would feel, it's meant to feel like this. This actually does weigh a pound. I've checked it on the scales. It's like 500 and something grams, right? So this is a proper representation of a pound of fat, and it's dead spongy because that's what fat is. It pushes our body out a lot. You know, muscle's really dense. So if you wanted a comparison of something that's on my desk, which I've not flipping got, maybe I can use these post-it notes. These do. So pound of fat, pound of muscle. So they both weigh a pound, right? A pound is a pound, right? That weighs the same as that if that's muscle and that's fat, because this is denser, it's tighter, this is fluffy, right? It's got a lot of fluff in it, it's spongy, right? So it takes up a lot more room. So you could lose 10 of these and gain 10 of these. The scales won't move, but you would look a lot smaller. It is amazing, though, how many people think, like, when you go to the gym and training and lifting weights, like, you can't counterbalance the scales, right? Really, with if you're fat. If you're really overweight and you start, or not even if you're really overweight, if you're just overweight and you go into the gym, I get this all the time. I'm going to the gym and then you get all the comments, oh, well, you're turning your fat into muscle. You can't turn fat into muscle. We're not Jesus turning water into wine here. There's no miracles in 2026. Yeah? You can't turn this into this. What? Turn a piece of rubbery plastic into post-it notes? No. All right? You can't turn this. You can lose this and you can gain this, right? So you can change the balance. So currently, most people have a lot more. If you're overweight, obese, morbid obese, you have more fat in your body than you do muscle. If you go to the gym and train and consistently stick to a calorie deficit, that tide will swing. Right? You'll change the thing, but you can't turn that into that. Right? If you're overweight, you can't counterbalance this. Well, you can counterbalance the scales, but you'd have to be in a tiny deficit. Right? Most people can quite comfortably lose one of those, if you're overweight, 4 to 6 of these a month, right? Most people at the start of lifting weights would struggle to gain one of these a month, right? Would struggle to gain one of these a month. And in their lifetime, they'd never gain more than 14 of these. Right? You don't build like, you can't lose 6 stone in weight and gain 6 stone in muscle. No, that doesn't work, right? So most people would struggle to lose. So let's say you're 5 stone overweight, right? You could lose that in 5 stone, probably in a year, maybe a bit longer, certainly 18 months. You could lose 5 stone, which is like 70 pounds. Right? So you could lose those in 18 months. If you wanted to build a stone of muscle, 1 stone of muscle, not fat, 1 stone of muscle, you'd be talking to a couple of years. And after that, it would then be really slow. It is hard work to build muscle. Yeah, it's not an easy process. Does that kind of make sense? But really good, really good. I love eating. That's not a sad thing, Maddie. I love eating. I've just adapted my mentality and my way of eating so I can still love eating, but love eating within my calorie allowance. Like, you know, I've had some right treats this weekend, and there's nothing wrong with having treats. They've just got to fit in with your calories. And if you're currently sat there and you've not got enough calories, you need to move more. That is the honest answer. I can't be more, you know. And if you don't want to move more, then you don't need more. Then you can't have more calories. You know, it really is that straightforward. You know, get a lot of people say, "Oh, you're so lucky. You've got so many calories." Yes, I'm a bit. You know, oh, you're so lucky because you're male. Oh, you're so lucky because this isn't a sexist thing. Yes, males do burn more calories than females on average, just because we're bigger. Like, this isn't a sexist thing. This is biology, right? Males have a sex hormone called testosterone. Because of testosterone, we carry more muscle than females. Females do have testosterone, but they have a lot more estrogen, which is the female sex hormone. We still have estrogen, but we have a lot more testosterone than estrogen, and females have a lot more estrogen than testosterone. So just naturally, on average, we carry more muscle. That burns more calories. The average height of a male is 5'10". The average height of a female is 5'4". We're just bigger. So we burn more calories. But that calorie burn is then relative to the energy that goes in. You know, a Range Rover might do 20 miles to the gallon, but it'll hold 80 quid's worth of petrol. Whereas a Corsa might do 40 miles to the gallon, but it'll hold 40 quid's worth of petrol. So they can still go the same distance, right? It's just one uses a lot more fuel than the other one, and it holds a lot more fuel, right? So we can't, but there is one common trend, whether you're male or female, whether you're 18 or 80, it doesn't matter. The more calories you burn on a day-to-day basis, the more freedom you have got with your eating patterns, right? My mum says, you're so lucky you're tall and you did both our cows. Her steps are very low. It's all about movement. It really, really is. And it's about what's relative to you. So, yeah, I'm tall and I can eat quite a lot of calories, but I burn 3,500 calories a day. That's why I can eat a lot of calories. Now, yeah, I'm tall and yes, I'm a big guy. But if I was lazy, I couldn't eat I could eat 3,000 calories a day and lose a pound a week. But if I averaged 3,000 to 4,000 steps a day and did no other exercise or anything like that, right, to lose a pound a week, I'd only be able to eat 2,000 calories a day, right? The reason why I can eat so is because I move a lot, and you have that option. Don't get me wrong. I know some people are going to go, well, I'm disabled and I have mobility. I get that, right? I'm disabled. Well, I'm not disabled, but I've got mobility issues. I've got severe arthritis. I've got ruptured ACLs. I've got torn meniscus. My knees are shot to pieces. But I choose what I choose to do, right? I choose to move a lot. We do have a choice. And I've worked with so many clients in the past that have come to me, but I can't move. The average 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day. And just from working with me, they're doing 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 steps a day. Next thing, they go from being able to eat 1,600 calories a day to being able to eat 1,850 a day, right? That's a big difference. You might be like 250 calories a day. That's hardly anything. Times that by 7, right? To be able to eat 13,000 calories a week instead of 11,500, which is only 200 calories a day difference in over a week, is a world of difference. It's the difference of having a nice takeaway with the kids. It's the difference of, not being overly restricted and being able to have a bit of food freedom here and there. It's the difference of being able to have, 50, 60, 70, 80 calories of veg every single day with your meal, which is loads of volume, which will fill you up, massive difference. Yeah. You've helped my fibromyalgia. Absolutely. I've worked with so many clients that have come to me with fibromyalgia. And there's a massive trend between fibro and being overweight and unhealthy. Massive, massive trend. Another massive trend from me personally working with lots of clients that have come to me with fibromyalgia. And I didn't really know much about it until I started coaching, right? And then clients, anything you said, I've got fibro, right? And when people come to me and they tell me about a condition and I don't know much about it, I put a lot of time and effort into research it and understand it so I can help and coach my clients, yeah? And one common trend is every single client of mine that's come to me with fibro, weight loss, eating healthier, putting the effort in to move more, it goes into remission. I'm not saying about flare-ups every now and then, but it's absolutely it's night and day the difference. And there is such a huge common trend between being overweight and unhealthy and being, not being very active and fibro. And the big thing is weight. I flipping hated the doctors when I was fat. Hated it. Everything was down to my weight. What I've realized now from losing my weight is 90% of the time they were right. Sometimes it's frustrating when you go with a bad cold or a chest infection and this, that, and the other. But even in them circumstances, they were right. Because now I'm fit and healthy, I get a cold. I don't need to go to the doctors. Does that make sense? Yasmin, good morning. I've not done any YouTube, Facebook. Dan's in as well on Facebook. Good morning, mate. Not sure enough have calories to eat all 3 of those slices of cake from this week's worth of calories. Oh, yeah. I uploaded a new worth of calories. So it's got the Studio Bakery. I got the Studio Bakery Matilda and Friends cake. So it's the Studio Bakery Matilda cake, which is just a milk chocolate cake, and an Oreo version and a Biscoff version. I've eaten them. They've gone. Well, I say I've eaten them. I ate a bit last week when I reviewed them, and then I had a piece after the review because that was my pudding, all within calories. They sat in the fridge for the week. I took them out on Saturday, and I had, and this is what I mean about this week. I've not had any food noise or whatever. I've not felt hungry, whatever. But because of that, I was like yesterday for tea, I had a bacon butty, so 2 slices of Warburton's toasty bread, 4 bacon medallions, bit of tomato sauce, 400 odd calories, and then I had 900 calories worth of cake. Because I'm like, I paid £16 for it. I'm not bidding it. So my tea last night was 1,350 calories. 900 calories worth of cake, sensational, and 450 calories of a bacon sandwich. And they are serious calories. They are serious calories, but they are really good. They are. I'm not saying they are really, really good. Like the Get Baked cake, did they call it the Bruce or something like is the best chocolate cake I've eaten. When I had that last week, and it was just, do you know what? It wasn't a million miles off after a week of being in the fridge. It really wasn't. It lasts a good while. It's got loads of sugar in it. It's one of the best preservatives there is. Because I couldn't believe when I bought it, I was like, 16 quid for 3 slices of cake. But then the date on it was over a week. Rachel was like, should we freeze it? And I nearly did. I was like, no. I said, do you know what? I said, if we freeze it, it'll just sit in the fridge because I'll just look at it and go, I'm not getting that out and spending that many calories on that. So leave it in the fridge. I'll chip away at it next weekend, and then whatever's left over, we'll just bin it. Anyway, I pretty much ate. I probably binned about 1,000 calories. I'd say I've binned about 1,000. I think there was nearly 5,000 calories in the box. I'd say over the 2 weeks, I've had about 3,000 calories. I'd say Rachel's had 1,000, and I've binned 1,000, something like that. It's flipping good cake, though. Really good cake. I don't get many steps, maybe 1 to 2K per day. If I up my steps, would I be able to count the extra calories, or am I just doing what I should be doing anyway, so they aren't actually extra calories? Pamela, it all depends on what your current calories are. Like 1,000 to 2,000 steps per day. I don't know. A lot of people, when they look at that, like 1,000 to 2,000 steps per day, you are so sedentary. Like 1,000 steps is 9 minutes of movement. So if you're doing 1 to 2K a day, and I get that some, you might come back to me and go, yeah, Neil, I'm non-weight bearing or I have to walk on crutches. I get that, right? I get that. But if you're not, 1 to 2,000 steps a day, your body will be so weak from your lack of movement. It's just do it for, you know, and this will kick your bum when you're older. Like if your body's weak when you're 30s, 40s, 50s, imagine when you're 70s, 80s. Like this is where people are really frail and can't move because their body's so weak, you know. Now again, sometimes we have no choice over that. Sometimes it's down to, like I say, certain disabilities and stuff like that. But basically, your current calories that you're trying to stick to should include your average daily movement and your average exercise. So it should include your steps and your movement. Now, I don't know what you weigh or anything like that, but 1 to 2,000 steps a day is like, if you've based your calories off doing 1 to 2,000 steps a day, and then you can increase that up to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 steps a day consistently, then you'd recalculate your calories and you'd work towards those calories. Now, a calorie allowance, unless you're really overweight, doing 1 to 2,000, it's going to be really low anyway. So if I got a client that came to me now and I knew that they could physically do 8,000 steps a day, the only reason that they don't do it is just their own motivation. They just can't be asked. I know physically, you know, and I do get clients like this. What I would actually do is I would actually calculate their calories on them probably doing something like on them doing something like 7,000 steps a day. But I'd start their step progression plan at 5 because that's still pretty sedentary for people that are physically able to move, right? And to start off with, they would be in a slightly smaller deficit. And then as they work to my step progression plan and increase their movement over time, their deficit would then increase, so they'd see an improvement in the losses. Yeah. But yeah, 1,000 to 2,000 steps a day, not just for weight loss and calorie allowance, physical and mental health is like that needs to change. Like I say, we do have exceptions out there, all right. But yeah, that's really sedentary. So yeah, I'd definitely be working on moving more and giving yourself more freedom with your calories, you know. Right, let me scan down. We actually had sun this morning. We had sun yesterday. There is a little bit of sun coming through this morning. We went out for Sunday lunch yesterday and we were walking across the pub car park. The sun was beaming and it was warm. There was actually a bit of warmth in the sun. It was like, nice. This is, and honestly, straight away, it just makes you go, it just makes you smile straight away. Absolutely lovely. Right. Right, let me scan down and have a look. Love banking for the weekend. It is just allowing myself treat nights. I'm going to do a podcast this week about how I came up with my plan. And my plan is based on the basic principles of what I started with when I started to lose weight, but then I've evolved it over time and I've evolved my plan. So really from 2021, when I first I wrote my plan in COVID and then I jigged it a little bit when I started online coaching in 2021. I've got some clients that were still working with me from my original plan and I've tweaked it a little bit since then as well. But it's still down to the basic principles of what I did at the start of my journey. And I didn't just walk into it. I didn't just go, right, let's do it this way. There were lots of little triggers along the way that made me try different things. A little bit of trial and error. Certain things worked, certain things didn't. But I was very freeing in my mindset. So when something worked, I kept it in. When something didn't work, but my basic idea behind it worked, I was like, right, how can I do it differently? So, for example, you know, I wanted to have treat nights, right? So I didn't track calories at the start of my journey. The first 2 years, 2014, 2015, I did not use an app. I didn't go into my phone. I didn't go, oh, right, you know, half a tin of beans, 2 slices of sourdough bread. But, you know, I didn't do any of that, right? I had a calorie allowance and I worked to a calorie structure. I didn't know what MyFitnessPal was. So I had a set amount of calories a day. And I did have a set, when I started off, I did 2,500 calories a day. That was my calories a day. And then I have X amount for breakfast, X amount for dinner, X amount for my tea. Right. And that was kind of, and I still give my clients a calorie structure now. It's one of the most powerfulest tools to plan and sort your eating out because it gives you that little structure. We need routine, we need structure, and people are, you know, so many people calorie counting. You're like, oh, it's 4 p.m. and I've eaten all my calories for the day. Work to a structure, give yourself so much of this, so much of that, so much to the other. Budgeting, it's budgeting, calorie budgeting. I could have called it your calorie budget, right? I call it a calorie structure, right? And I worked to that. And it worked really well. But I knew I wanted to not go to extremes. I knew I still wanted to have a takeaway at least once a week. And I still wanted to go to the pub on a Friday night and have a couple of beers with my mates because it's what I'd always done. And I didn't want to go from one extreme to another. So first couple of weeks, you know, takeaway, right, my tea's 600 to 800 calories. That's my calorie structure. How do I fit that in? Like a Chinese that's 1,200 calories into 800 calories. Well, I can't. And I can't really order a 1,200 calorie Chinese. So I either try and dish up 800 calories worth of Chinese and bin the rest. Hate food waste. That was doing my head in. Or, you know, and this is what I was sort of going through. And then every Wednesday night, we used to have a bit of a chippy tea and I'd get a lightly battered fish and a small peas. I'm like, I'm still hungry after that. It wasn't hitting the spot. So I'm like, right, that's not going to cut it. Because I'm trying to fit it into my calorie structure. And then in the end, I said, you know what? Sod it. 2 nights a week, I'm just going to have my tea of what my tea is, right? Yeah, I'm not going to order fish, chips, peas, battered sausage, pie, gravy, and a barm cake. Let's go lightly battered fish, large peas. Right? Big and big. Yeah, 2 big things. Not really worry about the calories too much. It's fish and peas at the end of the day. And that's my treat, right? And then same with the Chinese, just get a main course and egg fried rice. Bang, that's it, right? Doesn't matter if it's a few hundred calories over what I'd normally eat. It's just 2 nights a week. The other 5 nights a week, we're all good. And this is where my treat nights sort of fell into place. I then evolved that when I got, I used to have 3 a week, and the other treat night was a Friday night where I'd go to the pub and have 4 pints, 1 bag of pork scratchings. And again, I didn't really worry about the calories in that. I still had my 2,500 calories on a Friday in food, and then I'd have 4 pints on top of a bag of pork scratchings, 900 calories. Didn't worry about it. Now, at the time, I was in a really big calorie deficit, like really big, like 10, 11, 12,000 a week. So the fact that was, if I'd done 2,500 calories a day, I was probably in like a 12,000 calorie deficit a week. So having these little treat nights put me in like a 10,000 calorie. I'm still losing 3 pounds of body fat, nearly a stone a month. I lost 10 stone in the first year. And that included Christmas and having little holidays here and there where I didn't, again, track. But again, that's another philosophy, how that came into play. So we're going to do a podcast on it of how I came to, I don't know what to call it. I was going to say my philosophies of weight loss, or how I came up with my weight loss plan or something like that. And it's all these little things that happen throughout the first few years of my own weight loss journey that I've then put into a plan for you guys. And it's the plan that I follow. I do exactly what you do. I lost 3 stone last year. I had 5 holidays. I enjoyed Christmas, 3 stone down. And I just followed I do exactly the same plan that I coach you guys with. I didn't do anything different, amount of calories, daily average, some days a little bit lower, banking, a bit more flexibility and freedom at the weekend. I worked a daily average of steps. I cover it all every week in my weekly weight loss vlog if you want to watch it on YouTube. When I get closer to goal weight, I need to up my steps by a couple of thousand to keep my calories the same. Yeah, I'll be in charge of that, Yasmin. We'll just keep an eye on that. So as we lose weight, so Yasmin on YouTube is one of my one-to-one clients. If you want to be one of my, this is it. It ends. I put the code in to end 11:59 p.m. Wednesday. The half price sign up and 4 months of coaching for the price of 3 done. Absolutely done. So you've got less than 72. You've got 48 and 12. You've got 60 hours to take advantage of my New Year deal. Then it's over. I'm going to put it on my Instagram stories today. You can go TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram. Click on my link tree. Click on my monthly one-to-one plan. All the details are in there. Right, you use code New Year New Me at checkout. It'll cost you 15 quid. I'll get you started a week today. So anyone that takes advantage of the code this week until it ends on Wednesday night, you will start on Monday. You'll start on Monday. All right. So we'll get you going a week to get instant access to my community this week, and you'll start on Monday. And that's it. Right. And you can see exactly what my plan is. So anyway, Yasmin on YouTube. She is on my one-to-one plan. So as she gets closer to goal weight, will she need to up her steps? Yes. If you want to keep your calories the same. And really, the calories I give you at the start of your plan, you should never need to eat less if your movement isn't optimal when you start. Now, I get clients that come on board and their movement is crazy when they start. Generally, this is just a trend. I'm not saying this is the same for every client, but a lot of my clients that come on board whose movement is fantastic, they're not that overweight. So last week, I had 2 clients start that both average well over 10,000 steps a day, and they train 3 to 4 days a week in the gym. Brilliant, right? They absolutely have got an amazing level of movement, but they're both like a couple of stone. They want to lose 2 stone. They're like 170 pounds or something like that. Right. So in that case, they're starting off. I've put them in a 500 calorie a day deficit. And by the time they get to their goal weight, they don't need to increase their movement. They don't need to lower their calories. Just on their calorie burn, because they're not very heavy to start off with, will drop about 35 calories a day for every stone that they lose. So if they're in a current 500 calorie a day deficit, by the time they get to their goal weight, they're still going to be in a 400 calorie a day deficit. So, yeah, the weight loss might slow a smidge, but nothing that they'd actually recognise that much on the scales. Their weight loss might go from 4 to 6 pounds a month if they're consistent to just 4, right? Maybe 3.5, but that's as they get closer to goal weight. Now, can you counterbalance? So those clients there, 35 calories a day. If they want to keep their deficit at 500, they need to burn an extra 35 calories a day. Even at their weight, that isn't actually that hard to do. They could just work a bit more intense in the gym. So they might go to the gym and lift weights 3 times a week. And I might be like, well, change it to two regular weight sessions a week and do 1 body pump session a week or something. Or, you know, if you're doing sort of like push-pull legs, right, in the gym, make your sessions of push-pull legs, like make them supersets, so it's a bit more intense. That'll burn a few more calories in that session, and that'll counterbalance that'll help to counterbalance. So that's basically what Yasmin's saying there. When I get closer to goal weight, so as she loses weight, her metabolism will decrease, not by loads. Will I need to up my steps by a couple of thousand? How much? I don't know. We'll just monitor it, Yasmin. We'll just monitor it, right? And monitor your when you're on the one-to-one plan. I get a lot of people that message me afterwards and go, right, you know, when do I need to drop my calories? When anything needs to change, I'll tell you. If I feel you need to do more movement, I will tell you. If I feel that you need to add this in, I'll tell you. If I feel that we need to reduce calories, I'll tell you. I'll always tell you, you know? When I started my weight loss journey, I was 37 stone. I burnt 5,000-6,000 calories a day, right? And I used to eat 2,500 calories a day plus treat night. So I probably averaged 3,000 calories a day. I still eat that now and consistently lose weight, even though I've gone from being 37 stone to 17.5 stone, touching 18 stone at times. So I've lost nearly 20 stone. How can I still eat the same amount of calories at my current weight and consistently lose when I'm like half the size that I was? Really, really simple. When I was 37 stone and I was eating 2,500 to 3,000, eating 3,000 calories a day, I was in, because of my size, a 2,000 calorie deficit a day, really. Let's say 5,000 calories. So I said a massive calorie deficit a day. So now, which had me losing at least a stone a month. Certainly for the first 6 months, I lost a stone a month. I don't actually know. I'm guessing because I didn't weigh myself, but I lost 10 stone over the first year, and I would say I lost 7 stone. Well, I lost 9.5 stone up until Christmas. So that's like what? 11 months, I lost 9.5, right? And then I pushed through, and by the time I got to February 2015, which was my year anniversary, I was 10 stone down, basically. So it's not just a smooth trajectory. There's always peaks and troughs with weight loss. So obviously eating the same amount of calories now as I did at 37 stone, my weight loss will be less. So I won't lose a stone a month now. If I was eating 3,000 calories a day, I'd probably lose 4 to 5 pounds a month. So my weight loss is less. But when I started my weight loss journey at 37 stone, I was averaging maybe 1,000 steps a day, 1,500 at a push. Now I average 11. When I started my weight loss journey, I did join the gym a couple of months into my journey, and I was going 2 to 3 times a week for like 25 minutes, half an hour at a time. Now I go to the gym 6 times a week, right? 45 minutes to an hour at a time. I teach 2 spin classes a week. And I'm not saying exercise is the be all and end all. It isn't. I'm just trying to give an example of how my movement, my overall movement, so that's daily movements, the steps are on average 9 to 10,000 a day more, right? Exercise is 3 to 4 sessions a week more, and it's a lot more intense and it's longer. So that massive increase in movement has counterbalanced the amount my metabolism has dropped from the amount of weight I've lost. Does that kind of make sense? Morning, Neil. I had such a good eating weekend. Fry up yesterday, breakfast, chocolate brownie ice cream. It's lovely. When you have things like that, you're not then sat there craving a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because you're like, I've had a nice fry up. cream. Really enjoyed it. And if I want another fry up and another brownie and ice cream, I'll have one this weekend. And that's the thing. People always ask me, how do you deal with cravings? How do you deal with cravings? And I'm literally like, you'll rarely crave. Look, every now and then you're like, I really fancy some chocolate. That's not a bad thing, right? But you'll rarely crave things that you'll rarely crave, right? Let me get my wordings right here. You'll rarely crave things that you can eat, but I think a big part of it is knowing that you can eat things. Does that make sense? No, Neil. What I mean by that is we always want something more when we know we can't have it. So when we're on a diet, like you're doing a shake diet or you're doing a carnivore diet or your keto diet or this, that, and the other, because there's so many foods that are off limits, you crave the foods that you've not been that you haven't been eating, and the foods that you can't eat. And I think you crave the foods you can't eat more. And this is where so many people are like, right, I'm going on a diet, I'm not eating chocolate ever again. And suddenly a few days in, you're like, I just can't stop thinking about chocolate. And it's kind of like, yeah, because you're going to an extreme. You're telling your brain you can't have it ever again, and you enjoy chocolate. And to sort of say to yourself, I can never have this ever again, right? It just makes you want it more. So it's one of those things. If you work towards a weight loss plan, a diet plan, my philosophies of weight loss, where I'm just like, you want a brownie and ice cream? And this is where, I've got 6 clients starting today. And if they're all sat there now going, oh, I really want to try the new Philly cheese stack from Mackey's, I'm like, have it on Saturday night then. Let's bank some calories during the week. Let's go into your app now. What's your McDonald's? Right, Philly cheese stacks, 650 calories. All right, medium fries, 337, Diet Coke, no calories. Mini McFlurry afterwards, 100 for a little bit of pudding. Don't get the new McFlurries, the shit. I love a McFlurry. Absolutely love one. Tried the new ones, over the weekend. They are shit. I find that, do you know what? The best McFlurry is just an Oreo one. Just a standard Oreo McFlurry. The 260 calories for a large one, 130 for a mini, which anyone can fit into their calories, and they are class, right? You get all the special McFlurries. They're like 350, like 100 calories more, 50 calories more for a mini one, and they're never worth. They're very, very rarely worth it. I think I've probably had 1 or 2, like the limited edition ones that they bring out each month that are worth it. Don't get the new ones, are rubbish. The chocolate brownie pie from Mackey's, unbelievably good. They are top tier. Anyway, so I want a McDonald's this weekend. I want the Philly cheese stack, a medium fries, Coke Zero, and a mini McFlurry. It's 1,150 calories. Put it in your app now. Put it in. That's what I'm going to have. That's what. So I can look for. So I know that, and I normally have, according to my calorie structure Neil's given me, I normally have 600 calories for my tea anyway. So the Philly cheese stack 650, the fries are 350, say 1,000 calories, 130 for a mini Oreo McFlurry. So I need 1,130 calories. So that is going to be 530 calories more. I'm going to bank 1,200 calories over the week. So 500 of my bank calories I can spend on a McDonald's. Totally guilt-free. I can enjoy it. It's something to look forward to because I really fancy one. Done and dusted. And then this week, I want McDonald's. You have them on Saturday night. Now, don't get me wrong. Food addictions and stuff can take over, and you can be like, I want it now, right? Well, again, it's not. It's a solution. It's not a quick fix to a problem, but it's a long-term solution that we can work on. Can't wait for the cream egg McFlurries. Can't remember, there's been a couple that I'm like, yeah, they're really, really decent. But 9 times out of 10, honestly, Oreo, they're just not worth the calories. They're just not worth. When you compare it to the Oreo one for 150, for 130 for a mini, is just awesome. Absolutely awesome for a little sweet treat. Right, let me scan down and see if I'm missing anything. By the way, guys, if if I don't read your comment out or I don't respond to it, I'm not being rude. I get some people that get really triggered. Why are you ignoring me? I'm not ignoring you. There's like 90 people on this live. I've also got Facebook and YouTube running as well. So I can only go through so many, you know. I had a 600 calorie milkshake from Creams this weekend. I don't know what Creams is, but and tracked it, fitted in with my calves. I love a milkshake. Absolutely love one. I'm really good, like proper ace milkshake. Best milkshakes, Five Guys. They're unbelievably good. Doing it your way has helped me so much. I had the pudding again yesterday, but a smaller portion. Awesome. I love hearing all these people that are just happy eating. Happy. Some people, you know, some people go, oh, you're pro UPF. No, I'm not pro ultra processed foods. I'm not pro any food. I'm not negative any food. I'm pro healthy relationship with food, not feeling guilty about eating stuff, understanding that, do you know what? If I do want every now and then a Rustler's burger because I enjoy eating them, it's not going to give me cancer. It's not going to kill me. It's not going to do this. It's not going to do that. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. If my diet is made up of nothing but Rustler's burgers, chocolate and crisps 7 days a week, day in, day out for years and years and years, yeah, I'm sorry. When you get older, you're going to have a lot of medical issues, a lot of health. You've probably got some short-term, quite bad health issues. If that is just from, you've probably got really poor skin, lack of energy. You've probably got a really poor immune system. Short term, you'll have all of that, right? And sometimes we don't realize it because we don't know any different. It's just the way we've lived. And then long term, yeah, there is a chance you'll end up with heart disease. You're massively increasing the risk of cancers. But that's overconsumption. It's overconsumption of anything becomes, you know, as I always say, you know, too much of a good thing will become a bad thing. So you might love that. You know, same with the McDonald's. You can have a McDonald's once a week. Won't make you ill. Won't cause you any issues whatsoever. Well, oh God, I've had a McDonald's. It's going to be gut disrupting. It's going to be gut disrupting. No one actually knows. Like, honestly, I see so many people. It's been a bit of a buzz thing recently, like about, you know, it's gut disrupting. Gut disrupting. The frig's gut disrupting. So gut disrupting, you know, we have a gut microbiome. Basically, we've got lots of good and bad bacteria that are floating in our gut, and this helps break down food. It helps transport food. It's just, you know, the bad bacteria, you know, it's waste product, just like there's bad bacteria in a toilet, in a sink, in a drain. You know, that is to say, wherever there's waste product, wherever there's like food and stuff that's rotting and not rot, you know what I mean, it's been digested, it's been broken down, it's sat there and it's going through. So there's good and bad bacteria in our stomach, and a good gut microbiome is basically like your good bacteria are more prevalent than your bad bacteria. Do you know how you do that? Dead simple, without all the bullshit that people come out with. Make sure you consume some probiotics most days, yogurt, right? And make sure you have a good amount of fiber in your diet. You have those two things in your diet, nothing, your odd Coke Zero or aspartame's gut disruptive. Not if you've got probiotics in your gut and you've got a good bit. And there's other things that are good for a healthy gut, things like, you know, certain foods, ginger, apple cider vinegar, things like that. They're all gut promoting. They're all healthy for your gut. You know, sauerkraut, fermented foods, kombucha, stuff like that. If you really want to make sure you've got a healthy gut, again, it's just probiotics. Yogurt will do it just as good as your sauerkraut and your kombucha and your pickles and stuff like that. You know, sourdough breads and stuff like that, live cultures, anything that's fermented, right? It's all good for your gut. And the more you put in there, the better it's going to be. But you don't need to make it that complicated. You really, really don't. And it's like anything, one thing doesn't counterbalance. If you've got an overall healthy diet, you've got plenty of fiber going through your system, you've got probiotics all the time going through your system, having something that, if you overconsume it, might be good. It won't be. It won't cause you any issues whatsoever. Yeah, I eat shed tons of fiber. I eat shed tons of yogurt. My gut is as healthy, and I also drink at least 1 or 2 Coke Zeros a day. I do enjoy a little bit of, you know, some crisps here and there, and this, that, and the other. My gut is as healthy as it's ever going to be, right? Or is as healthy as it ever needs to be. Yeah. I messaged my GP today just to check on my protein and creatine intake with only having one kidney. But overall, I know I track calories as they are king. 100%. And it is worth it. You know, I've got a mate of mine. He's only got one kidney and he's a bodybuilder. And one kidney will function fine. And he eats like 350, but it is anecdotal. And he's fully aware that if his kidney function ever changes, that's the only time you ever need to worry about high protein diet is if your kidneys aren't functioning 100%. Yeah. And it's just worth running it through your doctor a little bit, you know. I started taking probiotic tabs for gut health, been helping a lot. Yeah. And it's like, you know, people are like, if your gut's healthy, yeah, if your body's healthy, it's amazing. It's not a light bulb moment. We've known this for years. If your body's healthy, so you've got an overall healthy diet, nice bit of hydration, good bit of movement, bit of exercise, you'll feel good. Well, duh. Like, oh, yeah, I just don't know what's wrong with me. I've got no energy. I've got low mood. I've got lack of motivation. And I just don't understand it. You eat shit and you don't move anywhere. Like, how does that, you know, like, how well does your car run if you never have it serviced, if you never, you know, even washing a car? Does anyone, I don't know, it's psychological at times. Do you ever feel your car runs better when you took it through a car wash? You're a bit like, oh, I've got a nice clean car, right? If your car's an absolute shit tip inside, it's dirty. The last time you had it serviced was 1978 and it was made in 1980. Like, it's just never been looked after. It will probably run like a bag of spanners, right? And next thing, you get it valeted, you get it washed, you take it to the garage, it has a full service, new spark plugs, new air filters, new oil changes, that and the other. And suddenly, oh, it starts up properly. Oh, it's doing more miles to the gallon. Oh, it seems a little bit quicker when I put my foot down. Yeah, because you're looking after it. It's healthy, right? And we're no different. You know, I get this all the time from people. I'm like, oh, I'm just tired all the time. I'm like, you go out and get flipping twatted every weekend, right? Do you know how long it takes for that to get out of your system? No wonder you're tired. I've got mates that do it. They're literally like, I just don't know why I can't get back into swingy things since Christmas. Every Saturday on at 3 p.m. on Instagram, Super Sunday smash up or Super Saturday smash up, watching football with beers in front of them. If that's what you want to do, fine. But don't question why every Tuesday, Wednesday you can't be asked going to the gym because you're knackered. You know, it's all about balance. Doesn't matter if I haven't had all my calories daily allowance all week, less than more. No. So Julie's just come on plan with me. So Julie sort of said that, does it matter if I haven't had all my calories daily allowance all week? So I think what Julie's basically saying there is, like, I've given Julia, let me just boot Julie's plan up so I know exactly what calories Julie's working with. So for example, so Julie's come on plan with me, right? She's lost a lot of weight through Cambridge plan. Obviously, Cambridge isn't a sustainable plan. She's regressed backwards a little bit. She's wanted to nip that in the bud, so she's come on plan with me. She's still a good bit of weight down, so we can preserve the losses that she's still got and then start progressing forward. Julie does over 10,000 steps a day, and her calories are 2,041 a week. So 2,041 calories a day on average, 14,300 calories over a week. Julia's calorie structure, this isn't set in stone. This is just a little guide for her to follow. Some days she'll eat less, some days she'll eat more of this. You don't need to eat the set amount of calories every day. Some days a higher calorie day with Thursday instead of a Saturday. But basic generic calorie structure is 1,800 calories Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, 2,750 and Sunday, 2,550. So she's eating a couple of hundred calories, 240 odd calories a day less than a daily average. That's banking her a decent amount of calories. It's still 1,800 calories a day. And if that's spent on pretty healthy, lower calorie foods, all good. And then she's got a nice higher calorie weekend. She already said she went out for a dinner yesterday and had a cocktail. But the important thing is with the way I coach is it's your weekly allowance, 14,300 calories a week, right? And I think what Julie is saying there is she might have had 13,800 calories this week. She hasn't stuck to 14,300. That's absolutely fine. So how we look at our weekly calories is it's your ideal deficit. More often than not, that is the number we want to aim for. Some weeks you will go below it. Some weeks you will go above it, right? But more often than not, we want to stick to 14,300. And I don't just pluck calories out of thin air. There's a science and a basis behind what I give. But I give healthy calorie allowances. So if you go under your calories, that's absolutely fine. Now, if I give you 14,300 calories for a week and you go under your calories by 3,000 every week, you're going to be over restricting yourself. Like I say, I give calories for a certain reason. You burn this many calories, you're going to eat this many, you're going to see decent results on the scales, but you're not going to be over restricting yourself. And we can over restrict ourselves physically and psychologically, right? Because if you've got 14,300 calories and you're only eating 11,000 a week, are you enjoying your Sunday dinner? Are you enjoying a cocktail here and there? Are you enjoying a bit of chocolate and crisps on the couch, right? Are you fueling the body correctly? Are you getting lots of fruits and veggies and stuff into your diet? You know, can you eat decent volumes of food? So we need to be aware of that. But a few hundred calories under, not an issue. Even some weeks, 1,000 calories under, from what I set, isn't going to cause any major over restrictions whatsoever. Likewise, the odd week, Julia, for example, has got 14,300 calories. She might have a party on a Saturday night, friend's birthday, kid's birthday, anniversary, just wants to go out on a Saturday night and let her hair down a little bit, right? And one week, Julia might finish on 15,500 calories, which would be 1,200 over, right? Now, I've currently got Julia in a definite 3,500 calorie a week deficit. Could be a little bit higher, but I always work a little bit more on the pessimistic side, right? Which means she loses one of those a week on average. If Julia has a week where she eats 13,800, she's going to lose a little bit more than one of these. If Julia has a week where she finishes on 15,000, she's just going to lose a little bit less. She'll still lose. It's just 3,500, one of these, right, in the deficit. If Julia finishes in a 4,000 calorie deficit, she's going to lose this and this, right? If Julia finishes in a 1,750 calorie deficit one week, she just lose this half. This bit will stay in the body. That's it, right? So it's nothing set in stone. Does that make sense? Now, look, if you're week in, if I set you 14,000 calories, right, a week in, week out, you're at 15,750, consistently going over. You're still going to consistently lose, but you can't whinge when you're losing 2 to 3 pounds a month and you want to lose 5 to 6, right? Because you just put yourself in a much smaller deficit. Likewise, if I set you 14,000 calories, oh, I can't eat 14,000 calories, blah, 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 and you decide to just go vigilante and eat 1,100 calories, right? And yeah, you lose loads of weight on the scales, great, but then in 2 months' time, you crash and burn and you can't control your appetite and you're overindulging all the time and you don't know why, then again, you've got to understand there's a reason why you've just over-restricted yourself and that you've hit your weight loss brick wall and you're going to struggle to get back into it. Yeah, does that make sense? But yeah, if you go, like, for example, this week, well, I'll tell you now, since Christmas, so my calories are 2,600 calories a day on average, 8,200 calories over a week, right? And now, I know this is a little bit, not deceptive, I always think, but I know I've changed things up last week, so I'm having 600 calories of protein shakes today, which my app isn't showing. But from Christmas, so from full week of Christmas, so my calories are 6,500 a week, right? 18,200 a week. So week one, 545 calories under my ideal deficit. So I had 17,655. Week two, I was 110 under. So I had 18,090. Week three, I was 615 calories under. I had 17,585. Week four, I was 151 under. So I had 18,049. And last week, I was 448 under. I had 17,700. So I've spent every week since Christmas, every full week since Christmas, back on the journey, I've been under my ideal deficit by between 100 and 600 calories. right? Which is fine because I'm just on it at the moment and I don't need those extra calories. But I'm fully aware that in a few weeks' time, there's going to be a week where I'm a little bit over. Just, but it's all mindset. It's all about staying positive. Yeah? Does that make sense? Is that all good? Right. Let me scan down and see what I've missed. I've got, oh my God, it's 25 to 10. Where has this morning gone? I have got to go. Yeah, I think it's been about 1,000 under. Julia, that's absolutely fine. You do have a really good level of movement. And it's just one of them, Julia. If you're consistently 1,000 under, right, and you do feel a little bit overly restricted, then you feel like you're missing out on something, then eat a bit more. But like I say, nothing's set in stone. And 1,000 under what your allowance is, eating like 13,000, it's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. Like, it's not, you shouldn't feel overly restricted from that. But I wouldn't want you to go too much less consistently. The other week's fine. Yeah. Right, guys, I've got to go. So if you want to come on my one-to-one plan, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram, click on the one-to-one. All the details are on my website, and then it's just down to you to press that button. New code, all in capitals, new year, new me, and we'll get you signed up. Right, I'll be back this evening, 7:30, 8-ish. 7:30, 8-ish. I'll see where the time goes. I'm off to the gym. I need to be at the gym for 10. So I've got to go. Have a great Monday. It's a new weight loss week, new set of calories in the bank. Steps 0. Get at it. I always say this, lay the foundation. A good Monday, a good Tuesday. More often than not, you lay those foundations and that'll roll into the rest of a decent week. Have a great day. And if you're free, I'll be on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube about 7:30 tonight. Yeah. TikTok sign off to you first. See you later. Facebook, YouTube, we will sign off to you, lovely people. Second.